So I want to talk about intuition. A lot of people like the conversation around intuition. I want to talk about intuition from an angle that I might have not spoken just yet. So intuition seems to be an ability to know something that many people feel attracted to. And what is intuition? When you know something instinctively without any A to B reasoning, right? So reasoning comes from the tangibility, right? The practicality of being able to understand and see from A to B to Z. But intuition is sort of like an impulse, the instinctive knowing that you feel drawn to and you have a certain certainty about it without having a logical um, reasoning behind it, right? And I want to mention that that is actually our primary language, because the intuitive mind is the language that governs the field, and everything starts with the field. So I want to talk about intuition to help anybody who is feeling uncertain about their path or their future. This happens especially when you're in a transition or when you try to start trying something new because they're unfamiliar with it. But then the more you diving into that, the more you wanna step into cultivate this intuition. And one conversation that I really like to share is this sort of angle and idea that many people wants to know what's gonna happen in the future logically, even though most of the things that happen in our life, when we look back, we can do a little like a test even, right? Like for instance, the last year, right? Every single thing that happens in your life, the way that took you to a certain journey, right? Or even the last 5 years, 3 years, 5 years, right? Even the last decade, when you look back and how you met certain people, the milestone that you have lived, you didn't have a logical idea how that is what's going to happen, right? So it's rather interesting that people wants to reason their future when everything that happened, most of the thing that happened in the past didn't happen from that logical standpoint. Yeah. And it's really important to allow ourselves to feel comfortable and to feel so good feeling uncertain about stuff. So you don't know when the next something is going to happen or where the next something is going to come from. And often when you don't see and don't have this logical understanding of connecting the dots, you feel uncertain, and that uncertainty often takes people to feel anxious about life. People shift into this fear-based mode, but the uncertainty is uncertain for the rational mind. But the place that is very uncertain is super certain for the intuitive mind because it comes from the pool of knowing. So here's one sort of perspective shift that might help you to feel good about this conversation. Let's say if you know where the next thing is going to come from, let's think of the other way around. If you know that the next this thing is coming from this particular place, now you just limited the possibility to focus only on that. But if you don't know where it's going to come from and feel uncertain, you feel uncertain because you don't know where it's going to come from. But the moment you don't know about things, it means that you just open up to this infinite possibility that it can come from anywhere and everywhere. Can we get excited about that possibility that we just created? And that intention of inviting that infinite possibility by diving into that uncertainty is going to bring something that you are feeling drawn to, because then that excitement and that expectation that you're forming in a joyful, calming manner is going to move the energy to be attracted towards you. I hope that makes sense. So intuitive ability to diving into the unknown, to look at that uncertainty as not knowing, but to invite infinite possibility because we don't know where it's going to come from is the perspective that we want to take to live from that spiritual point of view. Because only by feeling certain with that expansiveness, with that infinite possibility, we can allow that event to collapse into the quantum field by utilizing that energy that we're cultivating inside of us. So the simple practice is to feel certain with that uncertainty. And when you feel certain with the uncertainty, just see how the intuitive mind start kicking in, then you will have a sense of knowing to feel so safe and secure and certain and grounded, diving into the unknown, the path that you might have felt uncertain. You feel so good and familiar and home, and you almost feel like you're being guided and be side by side with God, side by side with the force of the universe to co-create, to begin shaping the next moment with that collaboration. So I hope this can help you to shift the way in which you operating if you're running into some uncertainty. And let me know if you have any question, anything that you spoke to you the most. And I'll see you in the next video.